Welcome to our class's screencast for Turnitin.com. This is mainly for those who've never used it before. Those who have, you just need to make sure to add our class, look to our syllabus for the ID number as well as the password. Put those in and that will add you to the class. Once you're out of the class, you pretty much know how to turn in a document. If you are worried about making sure you're doing it correctly, please feel free to watch the end or second half of this screencast. Okay, so those of you who don't have an account, how do you set one up? Well, if you see here on the top of the screen, in the top right corner, you have a Create an Account button. So you want to go ahead and hit that button, and that's going to take you to this particular item. Now, you will need to use an email address of some sort to turn in for Turnitin.com. You may use your ACES, your Alamo address, but you do not have to. You can use a personal address if you prefer. Now, they are asking you to see if you have actually used it before, and most of you know if you used it before or not. If you have, but you don't remember your password or anything, go ahead and walk through this process to actually find out your password and which email address you worked with. For those of you who've never used it, go to Create a New Account towards the bottom and choose Student. Once you're in here, you have all the information. You just need to fill in each of these boxes. The first one is the class ID, which of course is in your syllabus, and the enrollment password, which is also in your syllabus, and of course it's Alamo. You're going to need to give your information, your first name and your last name, and you get to choose how you want it displayed. I really don't care. You choose. Then you're going to put in the email address you want to use for Turnitin.com. So I would recommend choosing an email address you do check relatively regularly, because occasionally they do send you emails about your materials. Next, of course, it's going to ask for your password, and of course follow the directions up here. It has to be 6 to 12 characters long and contain at least one letter and one number. And of course, as it recommends, enter an email address and passwords you can remember. Now you will have to create a secret question in case you've forgotten your password, so you pull down the pull down menu and you choose whichever one you feel comfortable with. And of course, you write your answer. After that, of course, you just need to hit I agree, and this will actually create your online file. From there, it's just going ahead and accessing and uploading material to Turnitin.com. Now that we actually have everyone has their accounts, it's time to do our uploads. So you'll go into your class page, and so I'll say class portfolio, and this is where you're going to actually be submitting your draft, all of your papers. So when you're ready to submit the first draft, you'll of course hit submit, and you're going to follow through the process. And again, filling in a lot of blanks. It will fill in your first and last name for you, which is great, but you do need to put in a submission title. This title doesn't really matter. The title that's on your paper is what really matters. Then it asks you to choose what can I submit. That's, of course, if you don't know what kind of programs that they actually use for Turnitin.com. I do recommend Word, so .doc or .docx, and the next step best is .pdf. Now, all of you now can actually get 5 free downloads of Microsoft Office through the college. If you go into your ACES, you'll find a link that will take you to the download. And again, you get 5 free ones. That's 5 different places you can put it. So there's no reason not to be using Microsoft Word. Next, you're going to, of course, want to upload it. Most of you will just upload from computers. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and go with for the moment. And of course, it'll get me into my computer. Now, you notice I had Dropbox as an option because, of course, if you notice really quickly, I have a Dropbox. So I would go ahead and go into whatever I was going to work with, my documents, and I would choose a document. Let's see if there's actually anything worthwhile. Don't want to give you someone else's paper. I'm just going to go ahead and give a random file. Now, of course, this is not going to be a proper paper, but we can actually see that there's something here, and you'll hit clear file if it's the wrong one, upload if it's the correct one. Now, it will take a few moments as it uploads. Let's see, is it? Oh, I forgot to enter a title. So Go ahead and hit upload. It will upload your item, and it's going to process. It'll show you your name, the assignment, and the title you've given it to, and it actually shows you what your document should look like. At this stage, it's only actually one page at a time. If you need to see more pages, you follow through, and you can check. This should actually show you exactly how your entire paper should look, and it will also tell you how large the file is, the number of pages, your word count, and your character count. Again, for our class, our focus is right here, which is page count. Remember, this first paper you're aiming for you're aiming for 3 pages. Once you think this is ready to go, you hit confirm, and it's in. It says, congratulations, your submission is completed. And it gives you a receipt of this. So unlike anything you buy online, you now have a receipt. From there, I will go ahead and access your material and comment on it, and you'll be able to come back in here and see what my comments are. So we're going to go ahead and return back to the list. So that's going to work for both your drafts and the final and the revision version. Okay. So this, of course, is the draft you will be turning in first before the paper is due. This is the version you're turning in on the due date. That's going to happen right. If you notice, I have a number of these already set up. I only have 2 more left to go. So when you're ready to, of course, same process for doing the poetry draft. And when you're ready to look at it, if you go to View, I'll take just a moment. It's going to go ahead and load up our document, and it's going to give us a number of information. One of the things you will get is my comments, but those come up, of course, after I've done that. You can look for originality if you want. You can check for originality, and it'll tell you if you have any points that are matching with something, so you can check for yourself. You can do the grade mark. Actually, no, you can't. You can do peer mark and see if there's any reviews of your paper, which you will be doing. Grade mark will come up as soon as I have looked over your paper. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to close out that screen and take us back to the main page. Because the next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do a peer mark, which of course is a peer review. You do one for yourself and you do one for another student. The program, the site here, will actually choose which person you're going to peer review for this paper. It is entirely random. So you'll go ahead and you'll hit Write Reviews. Unfortunately, mine's not popping up because if you notice, the first day you can start writing reviews is the first day the draft is due. You'll hit the Write Reviews, and there's going to be a number of questions pop up, and you'll be able to go ahead and answer those questions about your own paper, which you'll have your paper there as well, and your a peer's paper. Of course, the peer's paper will be there. Once you're done, of course, you're going to hit Submit, and I can actually see your reviews. The person you reviewed can see your reviews, and you can continue to see your reviews. And of course, you want those reviews because they're going to be helpful, as well as the review I'm going to give you on the draft. So that's really the end of Turnitin.com. That's what really matters at this stage. If you have any questions, there's always a help button. See, help button. And hope to see all of your work on time on Turnitin.com.